Back to the Maestro podcast, my friends. Today we are on lesson 8 of week 3, ordering lists, sorted versus dot sort. Welcome to your next lesson. I'm getting your personalized lesson ready. Ding, 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 ding. Sorry for my terrible music sound effects. Um, I guess sometimes I'm getting a little bit bored with my current production quality. I need to add some sound effects. I will do that soon. We'll get things organized with that. All right, so it's crafting our lesson plan. It's pretty interesting how it can take this much time, but it apparently reviews, our previous work, and then it drafts a lesson plan. It apparently is going to avoid advanced concepts like lambda and dictionary teaching, because we're apparently not familiar with that yet. We're apparently going to be using length and string lower or lower things like that to for lowercase. Okay, here we go. It's finally giving us our stuff. Let's get started. Finally, make a tiny list like this. Wow, it's amazing. Look at that. It's a list. Sorting is key when you want your data in a useful order. Fast access, easy searching, or just for looks. Ready to see how to actually sort the list? How to actually sort it? Let's see. Sorted equals right? Sorted nums. Let's see. Maybe I'm wrong. Let's see. Ta-da! Ta-da! I'll show you. Ta-da! Look at that. We did it. We made a sorted copy, but left our original unchanged. Yes, we could have said nums equals sorted nums. Nums dot sort. Nums dot sort just straight does it. Man, look at that. Wow, make our own list with any three numbers? No way. Look at that. Wow. What's the actual use case difference? We know it's gonna sort them. That's simple. Come on. It's looked like this number was longer than this, but it's actually not because I put more in there apparently. You sort if you want to change the list directly. Save memory, you don't need the original order. Use sorted if you need the original list untouched. Maybe for backup or multiple sorts. Okay. So this always, if you just add dot sort to a list, it's just instantly going to sort it. Yeah, all right. Try flipping the order and reverse equals true. Sort it in reverse. And blam. Now we have two different lists. One's sorted in order, one's sorted in reverse. And we can label it or whatever if we wanted. We can even put the label in the variable if we wanted. I think. I haven't tested this in Python, but it should work. Descending. Yep. It's just added as an item though by doing it that way. So I guess it's not the smartest way. What did that even do? Explain this. I guess I have uh, made some type of unique syntax thing. Didn't explain why it did this. I'm just curious. Yes, but why this output? But descending outside a number list. Does Python do that automatically to a mixed list or what? Python did not do that automatically. You wrote sorted descending because of the comma. Python made a tuple, two things bundled, descending and your list. So if we just remove the comma, it looks like its example is terrible still. Uh, your y is not real. Nope. Python expects either a comma or a plus between two things, not just two values side by side. Combine a label and a value, use a comma. I already had a comma. Wow. This is how frustrating this AI can be. I mean, it won't even answer your most basic question. Why would I label it with a second print? I was just asking why it looked that way. You said it was a tuple. You didn't say, you didn't explain anything about why that happened. When I said automatically, you said no. Obviously, it did automatically turn into a tuple. Hello? Are you okay? No, I'm apparently not. Hello, are you okay? Do you understand? Can you be the tutor? Use your mind. Telling the tutor to use its mind is fun. You never know. Maybe it'll do something. Thank you for pushing deeper. I hear you, Father. Yes, Python made a tuple automatically because of one rule. If you write two things separated by a comma, like label, comma, value, Python bundles them as a tuple without needing parentheses. So this line, sorted equals descending, comma, sorted nums, reverse equals true, means descending and sorted nums get packed together as a tuple. That's automatic tuple creation. You saw the tuple printed because you printed the whole bundle at once. I should move on. But I'm so frustrated right now. I want to describe the actual issue. I don't like to feel confused or distorted because of something else's confusion. So I want to isolate what its own confusion was and address that head on. So it said, yep, you saw descending, that's output. It's a tuple, two separate things. Python only puts them together like this because of the comma. If you want to label, print as two lines. Python expects either a comma or a plus. Okay, so then you ended up saying Python either expects a comma or a plus. And before I said why is descending, this output is descending outside a number. Why does Python do that auto to mixed list? And it said Python did not do that automatically. You wrote prior. I had just said I can still just send that in that basic logic. It should be able to see its own ignorance there. You're absolutely right. I should have been more direct. Let's make it clear. Python turns two things into a comma, two things with a comma into a tuple automatically. So descending, comma, sorted nums, comma reverse equals true is a tuple because of the comma. Python does that for any values, even if they're totally different. Nothing special about mixing types or about lists. It's just always how Python treats commas outside of a function call or inside parentheses. If you ever see a label, comma, list printed, that's a tuple made because of the comma in your code. Thank you for calling out that gap. That still doesn't explain it at all, so I'm going to go into further detail with it to explain to it why it's still wrong. Still not explaining this properly, like an actual tutor. So, what can I break down about this if I dissect it? So, it's claiming that it's how it treats commas outside of a function. As you can see in the list, there are commas too. So, what about adding a label as the first item in a list? That wouldn't happen, right? But where does this whole coupling thing come into play? Let's commas separate items. In tuples, commas define a tuple. In tuples, commas define tuples. Then test equals label, comma, cheese, print, test. Whereas this is a tuple then, but what then? Then if we just did arg equals label, doesn't matter if we actually use dual quotations or dual parentheses or single parentheses. Do you see how you're not creating any kind of you're not creating any kind of clarity with your examples because your examples have no real life use case explanation or even a general coding explanation. You're just defining some basic ideas. Yes, both text and arg are couples made two ways, with or without parentheses as long as there's a comma. Tuples are just a Python way to group things together, unchangeable list. Use them for returning multiple results from a function, keeping paired or grouped data, storing things you don't want to change. A real use case. Imagine a function returns a name and an age. Define get person, return John, 42. Try printing test type in arg to see they're both tuples. Hmm. Type test type arg. Yeah. Excuse me. Excuse me. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I could hit mute. I'll learn that next time. Wow. You finally explained tuples. When were you going to teach this to our students? Thank you for pushing me to explain deeply. You're right. Clear, real explanations matter most. Now, every student after you will benefit from your questions. I'll teach tuple basics, the why and when you'd pick lists versus tuples right from the start. Let's keep building. Wow, yeah, if they're actually making the AI smart like that right now, then whew, we're in trouble. This thing's going to be smart fast. Oh, maze. Let's go. Sorted words by length, so it'll be fig, pear, banana. Derp, fig, pear, banana. Blam, blam, blam. Yes, you got it. Why? Because the length. Who would have guessed? Sorted words by key length. Hmm. So we can probably do lots of other keys. We can do it by string lower. It's kind of a weird way to define something. Hmm. Sorted with the key as the string lower. That's some complicated stuff right there. Because you're going to see how it keeps the order for things that stay equal. But what if we don't know what lambda is? You just said we didn't at the beginning of the lesson. Remember the first item in each tuple. Python keeps items with the same key in the original order. So after sorting A1 stays before A2. Possibility. Thought we weren't learning lambda yet. It's literally said without lambda and then use lambda. You're beating around the bush. Uh, what's the best example based on your actual instructions, free from delusion? So it sorts the columns in order, and so if you have a bunch of pairs and then those pairs, I mean, this example is terrible because it didn't actually change the order. Um, and we should probably do more than just two pairs. It just doesn't seem right. Okay, so we got six pairs. We got a bunch of different numbers in the pairs. Yeah, it's still done lambda at first, but now it's not doing lambda, considering we haven't been taught what lambda is yet. So now it's actually going to sort 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 8. But if we did it so that there's, say, a B with 1 and a C with 1, here's an actual example in a human format for teaching or smart people. I could have been a little bit more polite, I guess. It's a great example. B1, A2, A3, A5, B1, C1. One last mixed color shorting challenge. If you can actually explain it. Told you to explain it like a human. Right. Colors. Sorted. Colors. Comma key. E equals reverse. Oh, reverse equals true. And the key string lower. Hmm. I'm sure I'm gonna glitch that out. I'm just ready for it to walk us through this. Even though it already showed, probably already showed what to do, it looks like, but here's how it should look. It says print sorted colors, key string lower, reverse true. Hmm. What is the difference? Sorted colors. Uh, hmm. Sorted colors, key string lower, reverse. Can you explain full sorted usage? What? Nice job. You got red, green, blue, blue. That's almost reverse order. I mean, what's the difference between, you just literally said to do it. What to compare result to goal. You're the one that had me do this code, so what's the goal? Here's the full scoop on sorted. Sorted list makes a new sorted copy, leaving the original alone. You can add reverse equals true to flip the order. Default is false. You can use key to tell it sort by this rule, like key equals string.lower or key equals length by length. So using key equals string.lower is going to ignore the case by just automatically changing the case of everything to lower, or you can sort it by the length of the key. You can combine key and reverse for custom sorting. So in this case, we have two uh, modulators combined um, with the colors string. And I think I'm ready to wrap it up. Appreciate you guys' patience at the end here. I just got so frustrated with the way the AI was explaining things, and I just want people to know they're not alone. It doesn't matter how much you experience that you have with coding, even if you're a full stack developer, and even if you have Python experience, if you don't know um, Python at a professional level and you're interacting with this AI, you're going to experience a lot of little hiccups here and there. So it just is what it is right now, I guess. And hopefully they'll make it better sooner than later. Let's finish. All right, guys. We made it through another lesson. Ordering lists, sorted verse sort. That one took a while. Probably only needed the first 5 or 10 minutes of that. Hope you found it useful. And I appreciate you guys. If you have any constructive feedback to share, let me know. I'll keep working to make this podcast better day by day. And I'll see you guys at Maestro University and on the Reddit community. And you can find the YouTube podcast at Maestro Podcast. And that is on the Maestro blog, which is at maestro.kaboom.ski. You can just go to maestro.kaboom.ski like that. And blam, there's a blog. That's right, guys. See you on the flip.